Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And yes, this is exclusively the State of the Saints podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. This is one of the most interactive podcasts that you're ever going to find on YouTube or any other streaming outlet. Thank you all for tuning in, making the State of the Saints podcast a part of your morning. And on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we're going to be talking about Deshaun Watson. And the Houston Texans have finally named their price. That's right, like Progressive, name your price tool. They are naming their price and what it will take to acquire the services, the athletic ability, the skill, the will of Deshaun Watson. But thank you all so much for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast on this Monday morning. I want to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat. Special shout out to Brian, Jerry coming over. I just recently did a wrestling podcast on my wrestling channel, TJ Knows Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, Jerry, for taking a part in that. Jake, Donovan, we got Jared in here. We got Sayul. We got so many filing in, man. We're going to be talking about Deshaun Watson because it's necessary to talk about Deshaun Watson here on the State of the Saints podcast. And I know some of you are probably saying, why are we talking about Deshaun Watson? Because Who That Nation? There's not a day, an hour, a second that goes by that I don't get some type of email or I don't get some type of text. Somebody wants to know about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson. Can the Saints get Deshaun Watson? The Saints should get Deshaun Watson. Forget about the salary cap. Forget about what we need to give up for this guy. Forget that you could possibly set your team back a couple of years. We need number 4 on our squad. So, being a man of the people, I thought that I would talk about this for a second. But let's just go ahead and talk about what it would take for a team like the New Orleans Saints to acquire Deshaun Watson. According to the Houston Texans, according to Yahoo Sports, according to ESPN, according to NFL Network, wherever you find your sports, the Houston Texans are saying that it will take 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 really good defensive players in order to acquire Deshaun Watson. I'm going to say that again. It will take 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and 2 really good defensive players in order to acquire the services of Deshaun Watson. That is what Houston is saying that they want you to give up in order for you to get Deshaun Watson. Translation, in the words of Vince McMahon, no chance in hell are you getting Deshaun Watson. There's no way. Look, I like Deshaun Watson. Incredible talent. Been watching this dude since he's been at Clemson. I've seen the heroics late 4th quarter. I've seen him go up against some of the toughest teams, the Alabama Crimson Tide. I've seen this guy leave it all on the field. I mean, that spin move that he put on Buffalo in a wild card round last year, I'm still talking about to this day. I remember week 1 back a couple years ago. Deshaun Watson, 4th quarter heroics, 2 passes down the field. Boom, 1 to DeAndre Hopkins. Boom, 1 to Kenny Stills to give the Houston Texans a go-ahead lead over the New Orleans Saints, only for Will Lutz to kick that field goal in one of the most wonderful and one of the most, cardiac arrest type games. If you were part of those fan bases on Monday Night Football week 1 a couple years ago, I think it was 2019. But you got to be out of your damn mind if you think that the New Orleans Saints need to try to go after Deshaun Watson. Look, I wish him well. I hope that he can get things straight with Houston. I hope Houston does right by him. But you have got to be out of your damn mind if you're willing to give all that up for Deshaun Watson. And you know the crazy thing about this Who That Nation? There is some crazy Saints fan out there right now that is willing to do this. Seriously, they are willing to give up the form for Deshaun Watson. And those are the people that I feel sorry for, Who That Nation. I feel sorry for those individuals, man, that play the game of football like they play Madden. You know what I'm saying? They turn the salary cap off and they think the world really works like this, right? And they talk about they need to move money, right? How are they going to move money for this? How are they going to maneuver and finesse the game for this? And some of y'all that talk about they need to make some money moves, some of y'all are, you know what I'm saying, are trying to figure out how you going to pay the lights and the water at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, you can't even get your own budget straight. So how you going to sit up here and talk about how the Saints need to conduct their budget? I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being serious. How can you sit up here and talk about what the Saints need to do and you don't even know what you need to do? All right. Like, I just don't understand it, man. I like Deshaun Watson, but you have got to be out of your mind if you think that the New Orleans Saints need to go after this guy after what I just told you. Okay? It just does not make any sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. I just don't get it. I just do not understand it. And I feel sorry for you. I really do. On this great day, on this Monday morning, February 1st, I feel sorry for you if you still believe that the Saints need to go after this guy. I mean, it's unfreaking believable. But it's been a while since I did this, folks. It's been a while since I did this. I'm going to open up the phone lines, okay? I'm going to open up the phone lines. I want to hear from you, okay? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from the Who Dat Nation. I want somebody to explain to me what the Saints need to do. Do you believe the Saints need to go after Deshaun Watson? I mean, what is on your mind on this Monday morning? I'm going to go ahead and put the link inside the chat, and feel free to call in, talk about Deshaun Watson, talk about the Saints quarterback situation, draft picks, or what have you. The floor is yours. I'm just kind of tired of talking about this nonsense. I mean, I'm just wondering what people thinking, man. I'm just wondering what you're thinking. I'm just wondering, how do you think things work?
What up, TJ?
Ramsey, what's going on, man? How you doing, my friend?
Good. Who thinks we get Deshaun Watson? Why?
I don't know. Ramsey. I'm at a loss for words at this point. You know, like the guy just signed the second largest contract in NFL history. It's Patrick Mahomes, and then it's Deshaun Watson. The Saints dealing with salary cap issues right now. How in the world are you going to manage the second largest contract in NFL history?
I don't know. The Who That Nation needs to use their head, look for a quarterback, which it's Winston or Dak. One of those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't even mind Dak. I wouldn't mind that. That's more believable than Deshaun Watson, Ramsey. Like, seriously. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm just wondering, like, what is everybody's, like, malfunction with this? Like, I get it. I get it, man. Like, we're always looking for the next best thing. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Nick Underhill. He wrote that in an article. And I think that's right. He said we're always looking for the next best alternative, right? We don't trust Jameis Winston. So we're trying to find the next best alternative. But this ain't it. This ain't it. Even if Jameis can't come back, this ain't it, man. This will set your team back, Ramsey. What are they thinking, my friend?
Exactly. I'm looking back at our Super Bowl team in 2009, looking back because of Drew Brees' retirement and looking comparisons. I know we hate to do that.
Right.
But the one weakness that I think our defense had this year was turnovers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When I look back at 2009, we were good at getting interceptions, capitalizing, and just this year, none.
Right. Yeah, that was a huge issue, you know. And the thing about it is, if you took last year's team, that was like they set an NFL record for least amount of turnovers, and you put it with this team, maybe we talking about a Super Bowl, and maybe we talking about the Saints going to the Super Bowl, and maybe we all excited as Saints fans because we're, you know, going to be watching our team playing a Super Bowl. But it doesn't always happen like that, Rams. It doesn't always happen when you want it to happen. Man, I'm just looking forward to a season where I can have high expectations for this team and I won't get my heart broken. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for.
Exactly. but I don't see Watson as a Saint. I don't want to see him. All you're going to see is run, one massive throw, an interception, or an incomplete pass, and nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has the tools. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think that he will be a good quarterback, but it's just the price is just way too high. And I don't think that you need to make that move. I mean, you would have to move too many pieces and you won't be able to keep your core together. So I don't agree with that at all.
No, Dak, I want Dak because Dallas did him dirty. He got done dirty.
Yeah. But the thing about it, I think that Dallas might end up re-signing him. I really do. I think that they believe in him as a future quarterback. And I just think that Jerry Jones cares a lot about what people think about him. So he wants to be that guy to be like, well, I didn't give up on Dak. So he might end up getting a contract just based off that alone.
We'll see what happens. But if it's not Winston, I hope it is. It will hope it's Dak because I want to give credit for Drew Brees. Thank you for all what you've done, but we don't need you right now. If you come back, please be a quarterback coach.
Nah, we don't want him back at all, man. I mean, he has a contract with NBC. Looking forward to hearing his calls on some of those Sunday night games. Ramsey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Call back anytime, my friend.
All right, you too, TJ.
All right, take it easy, man. Shouts out to Ramsey. Yeah, man. Look, we love Drew Brees and the Who Dat Nation, but we looking forward to that commentary. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to see what he can bring to the table. Can he be better than Chris Collinsworth? Can he be on the level of what people see Tony Romo at? I mean, look, goodbye, farewell. Sanchez, what's going on, man?
All right, what's going on, TJ? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. So what you got for me this morning, man? Talking quarterback situation. We call him Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? The floor is yours, man.
Oh, okay.
Did you hit the flow, man?
Yeah, I did hit the flow.
I said the floor is yours. I heard a thump, man. Like, did you hit the flow?
Yeah, I hit the flow real quick. Real quick. Regarding quarterback situation, I think at main level right now, TJ is on 1,000. If we want Deshaun Watson, just go get Madden 21. Turn off the salary cap. That's the only way that's going to happen. I just want James Winston to continue his progress, and hopefully, he can prove to us next year that he can be the franchise quarterback. I don't want everybody to go in thinking that he's going to be Drew Brees because he is definitely not Drew Brees. Two completely different play styles, two completely different games. So that's really all I got, man.
Yes, Sanchez. So it was a little muffled, man. So I want to make sure that everybody know what you're saying here. You're saying that you hope that the New Orleans Saints sign Jameis Winston, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, you got a lot of people agree with you on that, Sanchez. Right. I think a lot of people agree with what you're saying, man. I hope a lot of people do agree with what you're saying. I think that's the best alternative going forward, man. Sanchez, appreciate that commentary, man. Call back anytime, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Man, shouts out to Sanchez, man. Yeah, man, but I had a little issue with hearing him, but he said that he feels Jameis Winston should be the next quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. And I think a lot of people agree with that, man. I think a lot of people feel as if he needs to go in that the Saints need to go in that direction. We're gonna go to Jerry. Jerry, what's going on, man? The OG of the State of the Saints podcast. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast and State of the Gamecock podcast, as well as TJ Knows Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, man. We cover everything over here, man. No rest for the weary, man. So what you got for me this morning?
I can understand that. Yeah. But I want to go ahead and drop some knowledge on these fans, thinking especially these Saints fans, thinking in their ever-loving mind that we're going to get Deshaun Watson to come to the New Orleans Saints. This is my take, TJ. And Who Dat Nation, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. But I want to address this. If you think for one solitary split second that the New Orleans Saints going to get Deshaun Watson to come to the team, and we're dealing with this salary cap hell we're dealing with, you got to be out of your damn mind. You must be smoking some blunts or some weed or drinking some liquor. I don't know what the hell y'all thinking.
I don't know what they
but
think.
My thing is, don't go get Deshaun Watson. We just saw a trade on Saturday that Stafford is going to the Rams and Goff going to the Lions. Think about it, Who That Nation. Deal with the people that you got.
Yeah.
You see this salary cap hell we already in right now. It's unbelievable. You cannot imagine how much it is in that salary cap. And you talking about you want to go get Deshaun Watson? Come on, man. Think with a better mind. Get a better mindset in your head, bro. I mean, come on.
I don't understand.
We already talked about Drew Brees retiring. Go ahead and retire. That'll save you some more money. Do some restructuring deals or something like that. But don't go out there and get Watson. Don't do that.
Right.
I mean, come on. Have some common sense, people. Have some freaking common sense. That's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that common sense isn't common at times. You know, I just don't get it, man. Like it's wishful thinking at this point. It's not realistic. And I feel like even if it is realistic, you setting your team back. You know what I'm saying? The Saints,
exactly.
The Saints are kind of, even though they don't want to say it, look, they in rebuild mode. You know what I'm saying? They are in rebuild mode. That's just what it is. And you need as many draft picks as possible in order for you to like get the team where it needs to be. And going out here getting the guy who has the second largest contract in NFL history is not the answer.
Exactly, TJ. I understand what you're saying. But and please, if I see any Bucs fans on here, don't get me started with y'all. Please don't get me started with y'all, because I'm gonna tell you right now. All you Bucs fans out there celebrating that y'all in the Super Bowl, I got bad news for you. Y'all gonna lose on Super Bowl Sunday. That's why I'm picking the Chiefs to beat y'all. I'm speaking as a Saints fan. If you think for one split second that I'm gonna root for y'all because it's in y'all bag and it's Sunday, please. I don't want to go down that road. I do not want to go that route, bruh. I don't.
All I know
is they're gonna lose. Yeah. But that's another story for another day.
All I gotta say is we got a pretty damn good podcast, because every single episode we do, we got Bucs fans up in here, and that's pretty good. Like for Bucs fans to be on the Saints podcast, must be a pretty damn good show. But Jerry, I appreciate you for calling in, man. Appreciate that commentary. Appreciate that fire on this Monday morning, man. Take it easy, brother.
You too. And once again, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I love each and every one of y'all once again, and nothing y'all can do about it. Love you, TJ, and your family. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. I love y'all. God bless you, man.
Yeah, God bless you too, man. Love you too, Jerry. Thank you for the support, my friend.
Man. You're welcome,
bro. Yeah, man. Shouts out to Jerry, man, doing this thing. Man, always supporting every podcast venture I do, man. I see Jerry in the chat, so I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that love right there. We're gonna go to Who Dat. What's going on, man?
What's going on there, TJ?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. How you doing this morning?
Man, doing just fantastic. I'm just sitting here, glad to be on your show this morning.
Hey, man, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here, man. Thank you so much. I know it's kind of early, you know, like appreciate you.
Yeah, but you're doing a good job, man. And
thank you.
And my take on us trying to get Deshaun Watson is ludicrous. Yeah. All I can say is remember the Ricky Williams trade.
Oh yeah.
I've been a Saints fan since birth almost. And man, look at living out in New Orleans, you know. We are some passionate people about our team, but trying to get Deshaun Watson with the salary cap that we own, man, is ludicrous. We don't need that. Give Jamie Winston a try.
Right.
Give him a try.
Right.
I believe that if we could have had him in that championship game, that game against the Bucs, we could have had a better chance.
Yeah.
Of moving them safeties off the line of scrimmage and getting that ball to Michael or down the field.
Right.
Leave Deshaun Watson where he's at.
Yeah.
And let's go use Jamie Winston as our starter. Sean Payton said it futuristic when he said we have our quarterback in the locker room.
Right.
Maybe he was talking about Taysom, but we got Jamie Winston in the locker room.
Right.
Been there for a whole year, tooling under Sean and Drew. Let us see what he got to do. I heard somebody say that he had an eye surgery or whatever. I don't know. That was just a talk, But when he learned to read defense, he can move the ball down the field. And that's my take.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that we all need to give him an opportunity. Who that? I appreciate that. Thank you so much for chiming in, man. Call back anytime.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah, man. I think a lot of people want to give Jameis Winston a chance, give him a chance, see what he got, see what he got in a different atmosphere, a different team. See if he can get the job done. We gonna go to Chosen, man. Chosen, what's going on, man?
Whoa, what's good, big brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. I see you at work, man. Got the hard hat on, putting in that work. You know what I'm saying?
Man, yeah. I'm chilling. It's a good Monday. I got them young bucks working under me. So I'm good, man. Yeah. But look, man, I do want to call in. I'm kind of late. I see y'all talking about Deshaun Watson and everything, man. What's the price on TJ? I kind of missed it. What they want?
Oh, well, according to sources right now, man, all sports media outlets, in order for you to acquire Deshaun Watson, you have to have 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, and 2 quality defensive starters that you have to give to the Houston Texans. What say you?
No. How about a bucket of pig feet or some slap your mouth? Nah, man, we ain't got that. We're gonna leave. We're gonna leave him where he at, and we're gonna go to the clearance section, and we're gonna, we're gonna get, what I'm saying, we're gonna see with Fit James, and we're gonna do that, But nah, man, I like James, bro. I feel like we got to give him, man, a chance. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he know the offense. He watched, he studied, and I feel like what if they would have gave up on Drew Brees? What if we would have said the same thing about Drew Brees when he got, man, leave that bro on where he at? And I'm pretty sure everybody went too keen on him. I mean, Sean Payton good at what he do. I mean, and if James don't work, and I say it like this, he said, "We know James, I'm not gonna hold that first or maybe that second season as a starter on him. I ain't gonna judge him off that. Nah, when you go 3, 4, 5 years into it and he's not producing, then you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But I believe in James, bro. Deshaun Watson will be cool, but it's not a guarantee he gonna gel in the offense. It's not a guarantee he gonna have that brotherhood like they got in the locker room. Because everybody that come in, they we got the, I don't know when they find time to learn it, but they got the handshakes. They got the dances together. They got the chemistry. So I'm pretty sure Deshaun Watson good, but I'll leave that for a team that's really trying to figure themselves out. I don't feel like we need to blow the whole thing up for Deshaun Watson, because if we get him, I mean, like they say, who he gonna throw to? Who gonna defend to give him a chance to bring you back in the game? Versus James, who know the offense, he know the timing, he know the playbook, and he know what to expect out of this offense. And he know what Sean Payton wants. So it's not always that shiny toy, not always good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like we need to save our money, save our draft picks, and fill in those spots we don't need. Another pass rusher, maybe another left tackle. Teron Armstead, maybe another versatile guard behind Ramchick. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, or somebody for Cam Jordan, or maybe, like you say, another Quan Alexander type player, another DeMario Davis, or another middle linebacker.
Right.
I wouldn't be mad at another safety or that a safety that can play nickel or play corner, like another kind of CD Deuce, PJ Williams kind of guy who could kind of fill in, you know.
Right.
But yeah, man, I love Deshaun Watson, but like you said, man, that's Madden dreams, man. That's a fantasy draft on Madden, bro. And let me tell you, I tried it.
That salary cap off, you know.
Let me tell you, I tried it, and we went 10-6. So I'm not a big fan of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Shout out to the Who That Nation, bro. I feel like we're gonna get it done. We don't need to panic just yet. We still got that. We still got that boy Kamara back there. We still got Latavius Murray, Harris, Callaway. You know,
right.
What's the left from Jerry Cook? That remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? We got Troutman. Yeah, man. I feel like we're gonna be all right. And you still got that boy Taysom who can plug in. So he got supporting case, man. And I feel like we're going in a ranking direction anyway. So why would we compromise our running just to look at Deshaun Watson's sexy arm throw? And then we're gonna be hollering, oh man, what happened to the ring game? Well, y'all wanted a pass heavy Deshaun Watson, so you know, so that's all I got, man.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I definitely agree, man. Deshaun Watson, yeah, incredible talent, but he's way too rich for the Saints blood, man. And you know, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to like mess up what I can possibly be in the next 5 to 6 years for 1 or 2 seasons, man.
For one quarterback, it's not a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? We know what he brings to the table, but I know what my dog's gonna do. We've been here 4 5 years. I know what my dog's gonna do. Now I heard about what you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I watch you from a distance, but it's a different ball game once you get in that dome, that locker room, and you know what I'm saying. And we're gonna see how it goes from there. But I appreciate you, TJ, for letting me take a few times on the show, man.
All right, man. Appreciate that time, man. And stop riding them people clock, man. Go back to work, man. Hey
man, you gotta get a break some kind of way, man. I've been getting this since 5 this morning, so I know my first little break, so hey, man, I gotta do what I gotta do.
I appreciate you spending your break with us, man. Appreciate it, Chosen, man. And before you go,
man,
let everybody know about your podcast, man. Chatting with Chosen, man.
Right. Yes, man. So right now it's in development. I did just released my first episode. It's Chatting with Chosen, real conversations with real people. So basically, man, the podcast is whatever you want to talk about, you know. Whatever y'all want to talk about, whether it's you know, current events, sports, life, religion, you know, anything that's on y'all mind, man. I want to provide a platform for everybody that's able to speak their mind, what's on their heart, and nobody will judge you. Your belief is your belief. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So just keep being the best version of yourself, and whatever you want to talk about, you can come on my podcast and talk about it. Follow me on Instagram at chosen_Kingston, Twitter at chosen_Kingston, or you can Facebook search me as, you guessed it, chosen_Kingston. So once we do that, man, and you know, come on the podcast, it's Chatting with Chosen, real conversations with real everyday people, man. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be, you know, considered a nobody. Come on the show, we can talk about it, and we just give each other opinions. And you know, it's all one big family. It's big love, man. So y'all come out and y'all support your boy Chosen, man.
Yeah, man. Y'all support Chatting with Chosen, man. Good, solid show right there. I checked it out myself. Good stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I checked out some of your phone calls. Definitely got a gumbo pot going over there. You know what I'm saying? Several conversations, man, people need to have. And I appreciate you for stepping out there, man, and giving people a platform like that, Chosen, man. But you take it easy. You know, like I said, I know a lot of people in the Who That Nation comments right now saying they're going to support that, man. They should. Chosen, peace out, man. Take it easy. Have a good day at work. Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate you, man. Y'all be blessed.
All right, you too, man. Yeah, man. You know, anytime you give people a platform, you know, like a lot of people just want to vent. You know, you got a lot of things going on in your life. You're frustrated. Sometimes, man, you don't want to tell them family members. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just want that outlet where you can just release. You know what I'm saying? Y'all check out Chatting with Chosen, man. Good, solid conversation right there. Good, solid brother, as y'all can see. You know what I'm saying? Got his head wrapped on tight. Shouts out to him, man. Shouts out to all my 9-to-5ers. You know what I'm saying? Waking up early in the morning at work. You know, those that are listening and watching at work right now, I appreciate y'all. Just don't get fired in the process. Charles, what's going on, man?
What's going on, TK? What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, nothing much, Charles. Appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much. What you got for me?
Man, I just want to say Deshaun Watson, bro, that's crazy. All them picks of him, it's too much, man.
Yeah.
Hey, take this out. We already owe Drew Brees $20 million.
Yeah.
He's gonna be retired. You know what I'm saying? So you owing him money. You owing Lattimore money, Ram check money. You know, all your Michael Thomas on the books, $20 million. What he stay ago? You know what I'm saying? It's too much.
Right.
And I feel like you need to be focusing on another 2017 draft class type. You know what I'm saying? Getting that going. Because that's how I go to things. Build through the draft. You know what I'm saying? Get some nice linebacker, cornerback, maybe another offensive lineman to help out Ruiz because he had an iffy season. You know what I'm saying? Switch him to probably center and let Corey play guard. That's the best bet for them too because Ruiz ain't a good guard than me. He's a better center. You know. Yeah. And as far as that, I don't believe Deshaun Watson can be a Super Bowl quarterback. Not yet. You know. Watching him, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it depends on the circumstance and the situation, man. Like, you know, if you got the right coach and the right pieces and you're not a terrible quarterback, then you can get over the hump, you know. Like, his talent, to me, Charles, is not the argument here. The argument is what you're giving up for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and are you willing to risk everything that you possibly can build for this type of talent? Because no disrespect to Deshaun Watson, but there are quality quarterbacks that can come into this league every single year, man. You know what I'm saying? And neither of those guys don't be top 5 picks either, you know? So.
Well, now that you bring that up, it's one thing I want to mention, you know, look at the Cincinnati game against the Steelers. Right. I forget the name was Finley or something. He came in there, was doing good for that one game, you know. You never know. With the right system, you could just keep on going, you know. You don't have to be a superstar quarterback that can win games. You got to know how to manage the game, not turn the ball over, and you're good.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That's a good point, man. So all in all, Charles, what do you think the solution is, man? I mean, look, you pretty knowledgeable of the game. You follow the Saints. So what do you think the Saints need to do, man? Do you like that? There's a lot of people that feel like Jameis is the answer. Rookie quarterback is the answer. Taysom is the answer. What you think, Charles?
Okay, looking at our situation with our defense, I would say stick with Jameis because our defense needs to really, you know, keep it going. Because I mean, we're gonna lose either Hendrickson or Williams, but maybe even both. You know what I'm saying? Never know. And Malcolm Jenkins is getting older. Benoit Jenkins is getting a little older. So defense is our priority. We want to remain a good defense. So, you know, stick with Jameis. Pay him about 3 years, $60 million, something like that. And, you know, give him that 3-year contract, see how it goes. Next 3 years, he'd be good with the quarterback situation. Build the defense back up. Because honestly, that's our biggest issue right now is our defense. We're going to lose a lot of our key dudes, you know. Again, K1. He was one of the dudes I wanted to keep, but his cap situation is horrible too. So it's like we got to really work on that defense.
I agree.
So,
I agree. I definitely agree with that, Charles. Man, that's a good take right there. Definitely need a defense to make sure that you're helping out that young quarterback that's young in the system. Man, I definitely agree with that one. Charles, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much for calling in. Call back anytime, my friend.
No problem, man.
All right. Yeah, man, Charles got a point. You know, like focusing on the defense is definitely key. You know, like any quarterback that comes into the system is going to be new. So you're going to need a defense in order to help them out. And I think like when you look at when Teddy Bridgewater was starting, that's when the defense was playing probably at their best. When Taysom was playing, that's when the defense was really balling out. So you definitely need a formidable defense to be able to compensate, you know, for the mistakes that the young quarterback is going to make. You know, like that's one thing, you know what I'm saying, about, you know, people can talk about Tampa all they want to, but look, I'm just going to call it for what it is. That defense has bailed those guys out in the playoffs quite a bit. You know, like we look at Tom Brady, what Tom Brady had 3 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you had a really good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, right, that can easily go down the field like it ain't nothing. And that defense stepped up and handled their business, man. And you need a defense like that. You need a defense when those quarterbacks make mistakes, young, inexperienced. You need that defense to be able to get those 3 and outs, hold them to a field goal. You need that. So the Saints did have some issues. You know what I'm saying? Like red zone, you know what I'm saying? Them in the red zone, it was horrible, right? You know what I'm saying? They fixed it like later on in a year, but when teams got into the red zone, it was a high percentage. I want to say like it was like in the 70s, 70+% that team was going to score when they get in the red zone. You want a very stingy defense. And the Saints, you know what I'm saying? They really had a good defense, but it can get better. It definitely can get better. And I just think that now that Dennis Allen is coming back, and that Ryan Nielsen, you know what I'm saying, is coming back as well on the defensive line, you have all your pieces in place, okay? And maybe like I say, you add a guy like a Chris Richard or something like that that's on your coaching staff. You add yourself, you know what I'm saying, somebody else that can come in with a new, you know what I'm saying, with some new eyes and new innovations, and you'll have yourself something, man. But the Saints definitely need to work on getting more turnovers. They definitely got to work on consistently getting a pass rush, and they need better play at the linebacker position. I think those are the issues that we need to be focusing on. I mean, the offense is going to be the offense. Offense is going to move the football. I think we all can agree that the Saints have the talent offensively in order for them to be successful. The defense just needs to be retooled. I think once the offensive line, once you switch Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz, when you got Cesar at the center position, Eric McCoy at the guard position, I think that would be better. And when the Saints put more emphasis on the running game, I think you'll see those offensive linemen really do their job and really step up. Clay, what's going on?
What's up, TJ? What's going on, man?
Yeah, man, nothing much, man. What you got for me?
Man, look, if you think we can get Deshaun Watson, you're sadly mistaken. Because if you look at all the other teams, what they have to offer, right? A bunch of picks in the first round or a bunch of defensive players that they want, they're not going to look at us. We don't really have much to offer. But look at what they gave for Matthew Stafford. 2 first-rounders, a third-rounder.
Right.
I mean,
Jared Goff. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we'd have to give up so much to get Deshaun Watson, and we'd basically have no team. And that's what Deshaun Watson wants to get out of. He wants to go to a team that can win, a good future, and we just don't have the money, the picks, the players for that. I mean, I feel like Jameis Winston, who's to say Jameis Winston can't be the next Deshaun Watson?
Exactly. That's because people just have that on their mind, Clay. Like they just have like the last image of Jameis Winston was, making all those mistakes in Tampa, and they just refuse to believe that a guy can change.
Picks.
Right.
Yeah. They just look at the amount of interceptions, but what happened to the 5,000 yards he threw, the 30 touchdowns he threw? I mean, they don't want to look at that.
No, they don't.
I mean, didn't he lead the NFL in yards?
Yeah.
At one point?
Definitely did.
Yeah, so, I mean, who's to say he can't change? You got to give him a second chance. I feel like he can really be, under Sean Payton, he can maybe even be an elite quarterback. Yeah. He's going into a team that has a good running game established, a pretty good defense,
Right.
So he doesn't have all that pressure like he did in Tampa. Like he has to put the team on his back. He's going into a very well-established team. And I feel like they just got to give him a second chance.
Yeah. Like I said, people just, like I said, they just have this image in their mind about him throwing those 30 interceptions, and they just can't let it go. And then on top of that, man, like New Orleans Saints fans, like we just got a tendency to just fall in love with nostalgia and names. Like, we're not looking like, I use this for example, right? Back in 2017, right, we brought in Adrian Peterson, right? Everybody was talking about Adrian Peterson, but Alvin Kamara was the guy that everybody needed to be focused on. But you know what I'm saying? Like, why won't let Adrian play? Why won't let Adrian play? Sean Payton saw the greatness in Alvin Kamara before we even knew who Alvin Kamara was. And now look at that. You know what I'm saying? Now if you was to ask somebody, okay, you know what I'm saying, would you trade out Alvin Kamara for Adrian Peterson? They'd be like, man, you crazy. So it's about giving people an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like we seen Jameis Winston, but we haven't seen Jameis Winston in this system. Jameis Winston has been a victim of what's been going on in Tampa. Several coaching changes, new offensive coordinators, lack of running game. You know what I'm saying? Like having to throw the ball 30 and 40 times a game. You know what I'm saying? And no supporting, no cast, no offensive line. Like you need structure around you in order for you to succeed. There's nothing in life that you can do to the best of your ability without structure. So
exactly, and that's what we have on this team. We have structure.
Yeah.
And he's going into this team, and with a second chance, I feel like he can really take off next year.
Yeah, I agree with you, Clay. No doubt about it, man. Hopefully they can get this contract done and we can see what Jameis can do. But Clay, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for that take, man. I think a lot of members of the Who Dat Nation needed to hear that. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Hey, one more thing though.
Go ahead.
One thing they should not do next year is start Taysom. If you think Taysom's the future, I mean, that's not a good take. Because it's either Jameis Winston's interceptions or Taysom Hill's fumbles. You got to pick one.
Yeah, I mean, a turnover is a turnover, right? It's an interception.
I appreciate you letting me on here.
All right, no problem, Clay. Call back anytime, my friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. Clay got a point. You know, he definitely got a point. And now we're gonna go ahead to Tyra, man. Tyra, what's going on?
Hey, TJ, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. This is my first.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay, there we go. I remember a few years ago when we didn't have no defense and barely a running game, and Drew Brees was throwing for 5,000 yards a year, and we still wasn't happy. And everybody was complaining, we need to get a defense. Okay, so now we spent a few years building the defense, and now we get Alvin Kamara. This guy had 1,000 yards rushing last year. I mean, and now here it is. We can't throw the ball down the field. But we have a quarterback in the building that can throw the ball down the field. Why would we want to break the bank to bring in Deshaun Watson and then sacrifice the defense? There's other issues we have to address. The secondary, we need a cornerback. I mean, why would we want to break the bank for Deshaun Watson and not have a defense? We're going to be in the same place he was a few years ago. That don't make sense to me.
Yeah, it don't make sense to me either. You know, I don't understand like why people just don't want to give this guy an opportunity. The only logical explanation I have, Tyra, is the fact that people just, you know, not in love with Jameis Winston because of what he did in the past, and they can't let it go. But I think he does bring something to the table that the New Orleans Saints need. You know what I'm saying? And I think that with Sean Payton, he can become a better version of himself.
I mean, if you go back to that Tampa game and look at what Tampa Bay did, all Tampa Bay did was play press coverage on all our receivers. They put pressure on all our receivers because they know we can't throw the ball down the field. And that's essentially what Tampa Bay did that entire game. Go back and watch the whole tape. When Jameis Winston came in and threw that 56-yard pass down the field for that touchdown, Tampa Bay was floored. Like, what just happened? They had no answer for that. But when you go back and put Drew in the game, he's throwing all those short passes. And Tampa Bay dared us to throw the ball deep. And we couldn't do it. That's essentially why they eventually won that game. So, I mean, come on. You have to have somebody that can throw the ball down the field. And I like Watson. I'm a Watson fan, but unfortunately, this is just a bad year for us. The salary cap is down. No fans. I mean, this is just a bad. If this was any other year, I would probably be all in. But it's the wrong year for that. Wrong year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I just think that there's really nothing wrong with this offense. It was just the lack of explosive plays down the field that kind of hindered the Saints. You know, nobody respected the ability of the Saints down the field game because they knew that Drew Brees didn't have the capability of doing that. And then when you have Taysom Hill, who has the ability to throw the ball down the field, he wasn't available for that game versus the Bucs. I mean, it was pretty much slim. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much I can pin my ears back and come after this quarterback now because they knew the downfield dynamic was gone.
Exactly. And that's the difference. And like I said, I believe in Winston. I talked smack about Winston in the past. He was in Tampa Bay. Of course, he's on a rival team. I'm going to talk smack. But he's in New Orleans now. And I think he's had a whole year to learn this offense. I trust Winston a lot more than I trust Taysom. Yeah, we went 3-1 with Taysom. But would we have gone 3-1 if we would have played different teams? I mean, we played Atlanta twice and the Broncos. I mean,
without a quarterback.
It's all about who you play. I mean, imagine if we would have had to play the Chiefs. Say we would have had to play the Chiefs, the Ravens, or the Browns, or other teams like that were good this year. Would we have won those games with Taysom Hill?
Probably not. And I would even question if Drew Lock would have played for Denver the way Denver's defense was playing, would we have won that game?
Exactly. So it's all about the teams that you play against, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, catching them at the right time is very, very important.
Yep. So,
Tyra, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much for calling in. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for your support.
No problem, TJ.
All right. Take care.
Too.
Yeah, shouts out to Tyra, man. That's a good point. Taysom Hill definitely ain't the answer for me. Like, we can talk about Jameis, we can evaluate that, but Taysom ain't nowhere in the conversation. If you ask me, he nowhere near it. Let's go ahead and see what the chat is saying before I get to Donald. Nick says greedy and want to be in the argument of having the best QB. Idris says, "Go face Gorilla, I can't handle these trolls thinking they smarter than their team is better than the whole NFL. I don't get it either. Sick of Drew." Ghostface giving shouts out to Tyra. Shouts out to Tyra, man, calling in. Imagine if they played press on Winston in that game, where it probably would have been more interesting. I wonder where Najee Harris is going. That's a good, interesting question right there. I think he's definitely gonna be the first running back off the board. Let me see. I can see him going to Atlanta. I can see him going to the Falcons. I can see that. Cajunomics says, "I still like the idea of Taysom getting reps at the quarterback position, though. Wish he could clean up his fumbles, but at this point, he is what he is." Well, I think he's still going to get quarterback reps. I still think he's going to be the backup quarterback, and I think that he's still going to have his Swiss Army role. But I think the Saints are always going to carry that extra quarterback to compensate, okay? Because if Taysom is in the game, then you need somebody that can back up, Jameis or whoever going to be the starting quarterback. You need that backup. Brandon says, "At least the Saints have shown they could win without Drew Brees. It took a 43-year-old quarterback to make the Bucs relevant again." Najee might go to Baltimore, man. Baltimore got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the running back position. You had Mark Ingram on the sidelines because you had, J.K. Dobbins out there balling out. They have a very stacked running back room, and if you add Lamar Jackson, that'd just be a waste of a draft pick. We just need to stop trying to fix what's not broken. Yeah, what's not broken is the fact that you have an electrifying offense, and you had a quarterback that couldn't take advantage of that. That's just the facts. We all love Drew. We all like his contributions, but the fact is, what Drew was able to give the team at that particular time, he couldn't take them to that next level or that level where they needed to be at. Saints got some explosive players, but man, look, if you don't have if you don't have a way to throw the ball down the field or get the ball to those guys, how would you know? Donald D, what's going on, man? What's going on, Donald? Well, having some technical issues with Donald, man. Feel free to call back, Donald. Feel free to call back, man. Freeze Alpha said, "For real, what are the Bucs gonna do when Brady leaves?" That's a good question. Picks are overrated. I mean, what are you talking about? Interceptions, or are you talking about draft picks? I would hope that you're talking about interceptions, because Draft picks are definitely not overrated. That's insane. 20 million. I agree with the 20 million if we talking about James. Bucs defense bailed out Brady in the postseason, stopping with Brady in 2020. Well, I think it was a combination of both, right? I think that this is like, you want to know the crazy thing about it is, this is the reverse of what happened with the New Orleans Saints, right? Drew Brees at the beginning of the season started off like he was just a man on fire. Then towards the end of the season, you had the defense carrying Drew Brees. But the thing about it is they wet the bed in the playoffs. Tom Brady carried the team at the beginning of the season by his quarterback play. And then towards the end, the defense started to carry him when he started to taper off. So then in the process, they was able to get a Super Bowl berth out of it, something that the Saints have yet to do. Okay, so kudos to them for doing things the right way. For them doing, what I'm saying, for understanding that you got an old quarterback and he's not going to play well every single game, but he can get you where you need to be. So can't get mad for that. Can't get mad at that. Donald, what's going on, man? Donald, can you hear me?
Man, the connection's terrible.
Having some connection issues, Donald. I'm sorry, man. Can't really hear you. Let's see. They're going to ignore the fact that we can't afford to get in a bidding war over Winston. But you won't get in a bidding war over Deshaun Watson. Smart. The Red Pearl says Bucs defense bailed out Brady. He threw the 40+ yard touchdown. You mad? I remember the heat y'all had on us when we had Winston. Now he's your franchise guy, huh? Fake. Well, that happens with every team, right? I mean, come on, red carpet. How many times have you went against the Patriots and you hated Tom Brady for beating y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And now you love the guy because he got y'all in the Super Bowl. So it goes both ways. Goes both ways, Red Pearl. Man, congratulations for y'all being in the Super Bowl, y'all making it. But let's not pretend, man, like, you probably had feelings about Tom Brady as a quarterback, and now he's your quarterback, and, things are different. So it goes both ways, man. Like, if you get a player from another team, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might hate that guy, right? He comes to your team and starts contributing, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? He's your guy. Says your Wi-Fi trash, TJ. Okay, well, stop listening. 15 years, 1 Super Bowl. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Deshaun is way better. Yeah, so much better that you're willing to get rid of your whole entire team and your draft picks for him. We gave Brady that game, TJ. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see. I think Winston about to shock everyone. Well, if he does, I will really appreciate that, because we definitely need somebody to take it to the next level. Damn you Bucs fans come here trolling with the -1 IQ instead of focusing on the Chiefs. Well, I appreciate them being here. Like I said, that just tells me that the show is bomb. Wow, TJ Jones, you really think Winston is on Watson's level? It's not about being on a level. It's about being smart with the decision making. I'm not playing Madden. I don't have the salary cap off. All right. If you got the salary cap off, then we fine. But all the rest of that stuff is just wishful thinking. It's just wishful thinking. Like, there's no way in the world I'm going to sacrifice 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 defensive players to acquire Deshaun Watson. Anybody believes that, you're high. Okay. If you're willing to get rid of your 2 number 1 picks, right? Now think about this. I want people to really understand this and realize how crazy that sounds. Okay. Back in what that was 2012, the Saints end up getting penalized for Bounty Gate. They got rid of their first. The NFL got rid of their first round pick, their second round pick. They didn't pick to the 3rd round. Now that was 1 year that the Saints lost draft picks, and it set the team back about 2 to 3 years. So imagine If you getting rid of 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 defensive players, what's that going to do with your team? Also, you can wear a number 4 jersey and feel like a winner. Like, what happens then? What happens when the salary cap starts to be an issue? Most of the time, teams, when salary cap starts to be the issue, they have draft picks in order for them to be on rookie deals, in order for them to compensate for the, you know what I'm saying, for the salary cap. So if you're not hitting it out the park with draft picks, you're going to be setting your team back. So you're giving these draft picks to other teams. What do you think is going to happen? That makes no sense whatsoever. I'm not sacrificing the future of my franchise for one player. That's just not happening. Have y'all not learned anything from Ricky Williams? Or maybe y'all haven't because y'all haven't been fans that long. I don't know. Maybe you have, but anybody that's seen that Ricky Williams situation should never, ever think that get rid of and relinquishing multiple draft picks is a good idea, because it's not. It's not a very good idea. James says, I am high, but I still ain't up those picks. James, thank you for your honesty, man. And those Ricky Williams picks. Get rid of Mike T for a future. Once again. Man, next question. Antonio, TJ, stop. If Brady took the game and Bucks D good. TJ, stop it. Brady took that game and Bucks D good. What do you mean he took the game? I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying they complemented each other. At the beginning of the season, Tom Brady was playing really well. And then towards the end, when he started to taper off a little bit, started making mistakes, the defense started to pick up the slack. What's wrong with that? These new Bucs fans are old Patriot fans following Brady. Well, we see the same thing with basketball with LeBron, so I can't get mad at that. You got LeBron fans who follow LeBron everywhere you go, right? So why they can't follow Brady? I ain't got no problem with that. Ricky Williams versus a franchise quarterback, y'all sleep. Okay. And what you gonna do with him? What are you gonna do with him? What are you gonna do with him? Like you have like you keep on saying get a franchise pick, but what you gonna do? Like how you gonna build around him? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna build around this quarterback? This guy has the second largest contract in NFL history. How are you gonna build around this guy? And you already close to $100 million in cap hell right now. How are you gonna build around him? You don't have number one, you don't have a first round draft pick for 2022, 2023. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have a second round pick for 2021, 2022. So you're picking in the third round for the next 2 years. So how in the world are you gonna build around him? How? So all you're doing in the process is making the Houston Texans a much better football team and making your team even worse. Why do you feel he can be top 10? I don't know exactly who we're talking about here. The Red Pearl, you were nobody, barely even made it to the playoff punching bag of the NFL. It took you short, but y'all never till this day getting a ring. Well, they already got one. They already got a championship. They had one back in 2002. I'll take a few more phone calls, man. I'll take a few more phone calls, see what you all have to say. Feel free to chime in, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. These last couple of years in the playoffs, it's been the offense that's been the problem. Defense has held up. It's time to move on from Breeze. Well, I think you got the defense where you need it to be. You know, you got it where it needs to be. You still need some pieces. You still need a linebacker. You still need some depth at the corner position, maybe go younger. But all in all, you know what I'm saying? Like you have a good team, but you got to pay these guys. You know, you have them, but you got to pay them. And if you ain't paying them, then they ain't going to be here. And if you get somebody like Deshaun, you definitely ain't going to be able to pay him. People don't understand cap space. Winston will kill us in the long run. we have a great quarterback with no help around him in a few years. So basically, what you will have is Drew Brees from about 2010 to about 2015, right? That's what you will have. Chris, what's going on, man?
What's up, TJ? Hey, man, y'all should not get Deshaun Watson. Look, I'm a Bucs fan. I'm also a Jameis fan.
Right.
I feel Jameis is a very viable starting quarterback. The Bucs never had top 10 offenses until Jameis got there. I think for the most part of his 5 years, they were in the top 15 in offenses, but what wasn't top 15 was their defense and their special teams. I mean, how many quarterbacks rookie quarterbacks go through like 8 field goal kickers in 5 years? They didn't have consistency as special teams. It's a team game. You can't expect one player to win you a game, especially in football.
Right.
Drew Brees, yes, he was a good quarterback, but I think someone mentioned earlier, when he was throwing 5,000-yard seasons and the defense wasn't good, they weren't. They were going 7-9 at best, and that was the same thing with the Bucs. Jameis did what the Bucs wanted him to do, and that was to throw the ball and get chunk yardage because that's the only way they had a chance to win. They never built around him. I sent you something in your DM earlier. I saw a lot of Saints fan that wanted Matthew Stafford, but if you look at Jameis's first 5 years and Stafford's first 5 years, they're comparable. Right. Jameis Winston is Matthew Stafford in a sense. I think Matthew Stafford may have been a little bit more consistent, but they were both in bad situations in their careers.
Right.
And
I agree. I agree with you, Chris. I agree 100%. I think that the team, what you have around you matters, and I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how physically gifted you are. If you don't have the coaching in a direction, you're not going to succeed. There's very few quarterbacks that succeed. And even when they do succeed, nobody really knows they're succeeding because they're not going anywhere. You throw 5 yards and you're not going to the playoffs, doesn't matter.
How many number one overall quarterbacks get signed to a second contract on their team? You want to know the last two?
Who were the last two?
Peyton Manning, and I guess you can technically say Eli Manning, because the whole trade deal there. But it doesn't. When you go to a bad organization that has the number one overall pick, they have the number one overall pick for a reason.
Right.
It's because they don't have a good team.
Yep.
And I feel like the Bucs, probably by year 3, I finally came to the conclusion that they weren't surrounding Winston. They had him on a rookie contract. They weren't bringing in free agents. They weren't spending money to provide around him. And once that happens, and you go 3-4 years doing that, I mean, now you're at the point where you're gonna have to, that 5th-year option. You have to pay him $20 million. The cap, you're not gonna have the same cap space. And that's what the Bucs did. They didn't support him enough. And I saw someone in the chat said, well, Winston had all the weapons in the world but didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, you can have a bunch of weapons, but if you're asked to score 40 points a week, how realistic is that? You're not going to score 40 points a week.
Exactly.
To win games. You're going to maybe at best score in the high 20s. But sometimes, and I saw it often, is when Jameis put him in position to win, it was either the defense gave up a quick score or the field goal kicker, missed points. That last game in 2019, Jameis is playing on a torn knee, a broken finger.
Right. And
he put him in position to win that game, and the field goal kicker missed 3 field goals, so they go to overtime, and he throws a pick 6. I mean, it's just some people, they want to see the recency in things, but they don't want to know. Like, Sean Payton is an experienced head coach. He knows how to get the best out of quarterbacks. He's proved that with Teddy Bridgewater, with even Taysom Hill, if you want to call him a quarterback. Imagine what you can do with Jameis Winston, who 26 years old, still hasn't reached the pinnacle of his career or even his prime of his career. And I just think, for Jameis, it's not about the money. He doesn't want $30 million contract like Dak Prescott once. Dak Prescott turned down $35 million a year
Right.
because he wanted more. Jameis isn't built that way. It wouldn't surprise me if he told Sean Payton, "Look, I'll help you guys out with your salary cap room. Just make me the starter, and I'll come and give him my best." That's just the way Jameis is.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I just feel like the New Orleans Saints, like I said, give him a better opportunity during the time what Tampa gave him. And for anybody out there, even the most irrational Bucs fan will tell you this is not the same football team when Jameis was there. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
not.
you got a running game, you got a defense. I mean, you got weapons galore. I mean,
Just look at the field goal kicker.
Yep,
How many kicks has he missed this year? He was very consistent.
Yep.
In 2019, the Bucs had one game where the running back went over 100 yards, and that was in week 17 of the season. Like, you've gone 17 weeks and you couldn't figure out how to run the damn football.
Yep. I mean, look, like I said, organizational structure matters. And like I said, I'm glad you as a Buc fan, I mean, you guys get an opportunity to get a shot at the Super Bowl. But like I said, man, for people to say that this was the same team that Jameis had, I just think that's just not truthful. And if they look deep down inside themselves, they'll know that's the truth. But Chris, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the insight, my friend.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Yeah, shouts out to Chris, man. Chris, big time Tampa Bay Bucs fan. I mean, dropping that knowledge right there, man. I mean, it's true. You know, organizational structure matters. You know, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have pieces around you, how are you going to succeed? You know, how are you going to succeed? You know, you got to have that structure. Got to have that structure. I'm going to read a few more, and then we're going to get up out of here, man. Cry says golf about to take a beating with the Lions. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I believe in Dan Campbell. I'm not going to say that. I believe in Dan Campbell. Andrew Luck and Cam Newton both got new contracts. This guy is completely wrong. Well, just because he negated some information don't mean that he was completely wrong. He still spoke some facts. You know, he may not have said, gave, so much accuracy or whatever like that, but there's some stuff up in there, you know what I'm saying, that we all can learn from. We need to stop doing that, man. You know, if a person like misspoke, their calculations are wrong on one particular thing, don't mean that, you can't find some truth in there. You know, but I appreciate that insight also, man, because Big D's, I mean, you said Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, now even Jared Goff, I think, got a second contract, if I'm not mistaken. But all in all, Chris was still telling the truth, man. I'm still not mad at his take. Who That for Life says, not the Bucs, the Saints breeze reason we cannot get Brady. Well, yeah, that's true. Could have got Brady if Drew retired. He was wrong about a lot of stuff. Great comment. Bucs had the same D for the last 3 years besides linebacker White. Well, they still didn't have Antoine Warfield. I mean, and they didn't have, I mean, like I said, structure matters as well. Like I said, you can have all the talent in the world, but if it's not being utilized correctly, then, guys still not going to succeed. This is a really fun stream. Glad I found it, man. Thank you so much. Glad that you're here. Y'all just let a Buccaneers fan tell you what teams need now. Well, just because he's a fan of a different team don't mean that you don't know what he's talking about. Price way too high for Watson. That seems to be the narrative of the day. Everybody's saying that the price is too high for Watson. The Bears ain't trading for Watson. If they didn't draft him with their pick, there's no way they give up assets to get him. Good point. Devin White makes a huge difference. That's the understatement of the day. Cam really fell off. Well, yeah, looks that way. Bucs didn't have Sue either. Yes, they did. They had Sue last year. The red pearl is obvious who's better, and our defense is getting way better. Top 10 almost every year. I still, like I said, look, congratulations to the Bucs and all, but I still feel like the Saints were a better team. Like, you don't beat a team twice, you know what I'm saying, and you're not better than them. You know what I'm saying? You can catch a team slipping, and you can end up winning that game. You know, the thing about it is, man, like these one and done scenarios, sometimes the best team don't always win, you know. But I mean, can't get mad at them for beating the Saints and then going to Lambeau and handling their business. A lot of the players on the Bucs team just got there. He doesn't know our team like a true Saints fan. TJ, you are cheap. I don't know what I'm cheap about, but I appreciate you telling me that. Let's see. Levante David is underrated extremely. He pro. What about Wentz? Wentz gonna stay with Philadelphia. It's pretty obvious, man. They already said that. Hold on, man. I gotta stop this vacuum cleaner. I got this before he come and shut us all down. I got this vacuum cleaner that's scheduled to clean the floors. I had to shut him down before he comes to and be knocking down wires. Josh Rosen to the Bucs after Brady retires. The worst part of this show is when it's over. This show gets me pumped. I appreciate that. And finally, Inevitable Expertise says, I believe the same thing that happened with Tannehill will happen with Jameis. Change is sometimes great. That's a good point. I mean, Tannehill looked like he was on his way out until he found the right situation. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you for those that chimed in. Thank you for those that left comments, and thank you all so much for your time. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Also check out the State of the Game podcast and TJ Knows Wrestling podcast available on YouTube as well. You all have a great and productive day. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?